in your opinion, what's kind of the benefits of having a bit more of like a resilient action plan, and how's that play a part?
It's having the ability to know that you have the skills to be able to manipulate your business if things change. So what I mean by that is you can put a plan down there which is a basic overall, but you know that seasonally that there can be changes, but at least you know then how you're going to go around changing that plan to then match your scenario. I think that's why I like the idea of having the farm plan, is that you know that, okay, if something happens, we've got something to fall back on, that we can then just put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, it's the action steps after,
that's
after
right.
the problem. And what have you already gotten out of the program now that you've been involved? What have you seen so far out of it?
I guess I know it's probably not something they look to try and show, but one big thing for us being first generation farmers here and being some of the younger farmers is that there's a lot of people in the same boat, and there's a lot of people that have been in that boat for twice as many years and have still been able to find that they can change, without it being something drastic. I guess the other thing I learnt too was that when you do get pushed to a kind of a stress point, most times it's because of the prior planning. I think there's a lot to say for having skills and stuff down on a piece of paper, to be able to look back on and fall upon them when you are in times of need, or plans as well as people's skills.
Like, I don't know actually currently what stage you're in, whether or not I believe you've done the farm table and conversation and things, but what have you achieved so far?
Oh, we've obviously we got in. We've done a business course. We've done a couple of one-on-ones. We've got in and done our plan on a page. And I guess once you've done your plan on a page is when you can either see some of your downfalls or see some of the upsides and branch out from there, and then kind of look into them a little bit more. So for us, once again here on King Island, where unfortunately we were half of our rainfall last October, which is once again the first time in so many years, and we're only a third of the rainfall in for November, which is another one in 60 something years. So at the moment we're also 200 kilos behind where we were last year, kilos of dry matter per hectare where we were last year. So it's I guess for us it's allowed us to know that that's okay, we can't control it, and we go back to that plan on a page, or we go back to some of those I'm trying to think of the word now, some of those action steps of, okay, if we hit this, where do we go now? Instead of where the other year, not so much for us because we come from somewhere where it was quite dry and inconsistent, but we were okay with that. It's putting those steps in place, so it's not just all rushed and jammed into the one thing, and it's kind of just a off the cuff kind of decision instead of being a planned action where you can, like I said before, it's just a whole lot less stressful when you can just follow the plan. Like, people think, oh yeah, it's green, but if they actually went onto MyMLA and actually looked this year and last year over an 8-year average, we're 2,000 kilos behind. Over an 8-year average, 2,000 kilos of dry matter per hectare behind. Yeah. If you went off a 2-year, so from between now and last year, we're 200 kilos behind where we were last year, and heading into the same rainfall pattern at the moment. Like, dealing with what we've got, that is where we're at. And it's. I know last year I had to sell a lot of. I didn't have the borrowing ability to go on and borrow to be able to feed animals, and logistically here I had to sell them, and it's not that easy to replace them. I think if it happened again this year, it'd put me in a very, very tight situation. But I think we've been able to talk to some of your team, but also follow some of the stuff we've got down on a piece of paper. Even some of the networking that came out of it, I think we might be in a bit of a better scenario. Yeah, I can only hope so.